Yeah.
But more specifically, last year was the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, the release of Pokemon. What did that mean to you? So Ryan and I were talking off the air a few days ago, where he's talking about, he's like, Pokemon 20th anniversary didn't really do a whole lot. And then me, on the other hand, I thought it was great. I bought into a bunch of it. I thought it was like a super cool like year-long event that they did. So we kind of want to go a little bit more in depth on what that is. Like, what did like last year's like huge Pokemon anniversary mean to you?
I want to know personally, and then what you think in general. Because for me, I was like just looking through my room, and it's like, oh, there's like the Volcanion card and another of the mythical cards, and I'm like, why did I even get these?
You guys are asking me like what it meant to me. Only thing I remember with the anniversary that they did was like the special Pikachu.
Yeah, plush.
Wait,
what do you mean special Pikachu?
Well, I remember the 3DS.
Yeah, they did.
They had.
They did. Yep.
But honestly, I don't know what it might have been for the release of Black and White. I just remember they like came around like all the malls in the U.S. and they was that for the.
But this wasn't last year. We're just talking last year.
Oh, okay.
Because they did.
Because last year was when anything Pokemon that came out, they had it branded and like everything with Pokemon 20 on it.
No, and every month there was a new plush, new action.
Yeah, every month. So they went through 11 legendaries. It
Yeah.
started in February because February 27th is Pokemon Day.
Are they still doing event Pokemon?
That should have ended.
Yeah, sort of, kind of.
Sort of, kind of.
So they still do it.
Like
so
you can
do,
still
like
people will come into GameStop and you have like cards that we give out. So like right now is like a Lycanroc Midnight.
Oh,
Farm
so it's
thing.
not like you
So
just
pass
connect to
card
like
as-
another DS in the GameStop and you download.
Not
it
like
through-
that anymore.
Wait, so there's
That
cards
is
right
so
now? at GameStop?
sad.
What's that?
There's cards right now at GameStop?
Yep.
I-
You can go in and get for Lycanroc
Dude,
Midnight Farm.
You know what I remember?
Level 50.
didn't
I
even know.
remember from back when, oh man, in high school, a bunch of nerds. We like went to Toys R Us, and it was like in the early morning, just the Arceus, like me and a group of friends, and it was just a great memory. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
The Arceus memory.
Dude, I
Going
love
down-
the,
going
I
down
love the
memory
personal,
trail.
the personal touch.
Yeah, no, I
It's
just
good.
and then we all got it. We were like, yeah, dude, I just got this super rare, and like I guess that thing's like worth money now too. That original Arceus, like
Sell
the
your digital Arceus.
digital
Right.
Arceus.
Hey, there's like I could sell my PS4 that has PT on it for like $1,000 or something.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, PT. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is not related to Pokemon, but
Yeah,
selling-
there were like
selling
people,
digital stuff
There were people that were offering money for me to me at one time
For
for
you- money
for
for you.
Pokérus, dude.
Trying to say
They just
you.
wanted a Pokemon with Pokérus.
Dude, that's insane.
What was the going rate of Pokerus back then?
It was like $5.
Nice.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
You should just
People
infect
are
your
obsessed with
entire
Right,
party.
dude,
I-
just
they all were,
Dude,
yeah.
just make all your Pokemon sick with that uncurable
Pokérus, yeah.
disease, man. You know,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Not enough to make them battling
The
each other,
HPV of
you know?
Pokemon.
Right, wonderful.
There should be vaccinations.
But yeah, so then to me, so that was kind of Ryan's experience with it. And then for me last year was like, it started in February, and every month until December, like there was a new legendary. They call it like the mythical Pokemon, whatever.
Yeah.
Every month. So February was Mew, and then it just went through the generations until you got to the end. December was Meloetta, who is from Black and White. And then they didn't do any of the legendaries or anything from X and Y. And
'Cause
then
they sucked.
as we know, Sun and Moon also launched last year. But it was like last year seriously was the year of Pokemon. That's when we got, on February 27th, we got the re-releases of the original Pokemon games, Red, Blue, and Yellow, on 3DS digitally, which was awesome. And then we got the brand new generation of Pokemon with Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
We got Pokemon Go. We had the whole Pokemon trading card line that got so many other like old Pokemon fans into Pokemon. It was called the Generations line. And it was the original base set of Pokemon cards that came out in like the late 90s.
Yeah.
They re-released a bunch of them and made this whole new set with them. So it was like the original artwork, the original style, all that stuff.
And we all know what's coming up next. Pokemon Snap. Heard
That would
it
be
here-
good, though.
I
heard it here
can't wait, dude.
first.
That'd be perfect on the Switch.
Yeah.
Oh no! If it was on your phone,
You already have that with
Oh,
Pokemon
no.
Go.
pictures.
Pokemon Go already is that, though. It's
No,
like
but
your
like
own
instead
form
of catching
Snap.
Pokemon, you take pictures of them.
You can do that in Pokemon Go.
What? You can take pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Like if you screenshot? No, I'm
No.
saying like go
I'll-
on.
I'll show you.
no.
I'm gonna log in,
Dude,
but I'm also
I'm
gonna
telling you
talk.
right now. I already have a vision for this app. Okay, so
Okay.
you're like, say like, okay, I want to take a walk from
Okay.
here over to the lake, right?
Yeah.
And you like route like your path and
Uh-huh.
everything like that, and you just go for a walk, and during your walk you are just like taking pictures, you know, and the app tells you not to stop walking, you know, you have to keep walking, you know.
Why do you have to keep
Well, I
walking?
mean, unless you come to like a road, in which case
No,
should
you have to
probably
keep
stop.
walking. You have to keep walking.
Okay, minus that part.
Disregard all signs, traffic lights, anything.
But yeah, no, like, and you have to keep taking pictures of these Pokemon, and then once you get to the end of it, you go back into Professor Oak's little portal.
Okay.
And then you get like a final score, like as to how like your
pictures were.
Your pictures were, yeah, dude. So there might be like Pidgeys or Fearos like flying up above you, and you got to take pictures of them. I think it's actually a good idea.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a really good idea.
I think it is. I totally agree. I'm just saying, Pokemon Go. If a Pokemon would load in here, I'd click on it and show you that you can do pretty much exactly what you just described. But
no, I like his idea better though.
Yeah, yours is a little bit more in depth, and I like it. I also want to throw out that at the library down the street, there's a wild Kabutops down there.
Oh,
which is,
shoot, dude.
Damn, so I'm going to end this podcast right now because I don't have one yet. So
oh, no.
I'll be right back. Yeah.
What?
Wait, I'm going to build on your
serious.
app, though. I think it should be like you could set it at quarter mile, half a mile, mile, or however, in increments like that, where it's technically like an exercise app too, but as you're walking around, you're taking that, and you have leaderboards, friend scores for that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
That would
Totally
be cool.
agree. You could
I
make
I would
Pokemon
play
Snap
that
its own
more
app.
than Pokemon Go. Probably.
Probably
No, I
not
don't
because
know.
it would murder your battery. And
What?
Yeah, because having
Yeah,
to
it
use
would
your
be
camera,
very
your camera has to be
intensive.
involved, your GPS
Yeah,
has
an
to be
iPhone,
involved, all that has to be involved. Dude, iPhone batteries are awful. Google Pixel's where it's at.
Mine's better.
Anyway, but yeah, so Pokemon 20th anniversary, I bought into a bunch of it. I have every single plush that they released, all the little mini plastic figures that they released, tons and tons of the cards that they released, all in binders, all numbered, all everything. Bought the games, bought both versions of the new games, bought red and yellow version again,
Yeah.
bought tons of this stuff. So it's just like, it's just awesome how it's like one person can look at it like Ryan did, and it's like, oh man, there was this event was going on, and I just kind of why did I even buy this stuff? Like the hype died down, and it's like, oh man, I fell victim to the hype, and it was cool while it lasted, but now it's nothing. But then there's me who's like, I have them all on my shelf, like they look really nice. I'm pumped that I have them all. Yeah. It's like a complete collection for me. And that's just so cool. So, I don't know. I just thought it was super interesting that, like...
Couple things to say, though.
You can have different opinions. Yeah, what's up?
Fall Victim, good Alkaline Trio song, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But no.
Matt Skiba's a chump.
No. Okay.
Yes.
But I have two ways of looking at this. One way of just personally where it's like, hey, I went to GameStop to get all those cards. Because remember, like, Genesect was kind of rare at first because GameStops weren't getting them. And I remember at first people were selling some of the cards on eBay, like Mew and all that. Yeah, that was after the fact. You got them later and all that. But, like, it was cool and kind of getting back into it. I redeemed them, but I didn't play the games anymore. And even when I go back to think of Sun and Moon, it's like, I only played a couple hours of Moon. Like, when I was watching the previews and everything, I really wanted to get into it, but I just didn't get into it like I did. However, I think there's the opposite spectrum, too, where we especially talked with Pokemon Go, how it's like all the Pokemon noobs came back out. Like, all these people who weren't into it were now like, oh, I love Pokemon. So it did, like, reinvigorate that aspect of it.
And it brought people back together. Ultimately what Pokemon used to do for us as children, and I like that aspect about it. So
The link cables.
Dude, I miss the link cables.
I know.
Link my cable.
God.
to your Pokemon?
Yeah.
Link your cable to your Pokemon?
Link
You want to be
cable-
one with the Pokemon?
Link my cable to your Game Boy Daddy. All right.
All right, I want to wrap this up right now. This is going too crazy, but give me your favorite Pokemon memory of all time, and we're just going to go down the line.
Does it have to do with Pokemon Go?
No,
I'll never forget when I was in the
Why?
bathroom
I
at
would have said
Target.
Pokemon Go memory. Just give
I was
me
in the
Pokemon.
bathroom at Target, and there was like a Rattata there, and I was like sitting on the toilet.
That's
and
your favorite memory of Pokemon of all time.
It might be.
Is playing Pokemon Go while taking a dump.
Okay, no,
and
I'll do
catching
this.
a
Back
Rattata.
when I was in
I
elementary
got
school.
mine.
Okay, wait.
I can't wait.
Couple times, like
I
in
really wanna hear
elementary
this.
school,
Yeah.
when you trade cards and everything, and it was like banned though, like stuff
Oh,
like that.
God,
I'll
I remember
remember
that, yep.
that, and I'll remember like the cards and everything. Blah blah blah. That was cool. But I also remember I had a friend back then who had Mew on his Game Boy, and that was like he was the only person who everybody knew who had it and everything. And somehow I got it from him. The Mew. And I don't know
Wait,
where
on
he
what
got
game?
it.
What game was it?
Blue and red, like those.
Oh.
He had Mew way back in the day when those were the only ones that were out. I don't know how he got it or whatever.
And he traded you the Mew?
I somehow got the Mew from
Or did
him.
you steal the game from him? The
No.
game cartridge.
I definitely got
and you
the trade.
switched it with yours.
We had the same piano teacher, and somehow we just connected there.
Piantissima?
Yeah, the same piano teacher.
Yeah.
But no. But I got the Mew from him back in the day when it was only like blue and red were around.
Nice.
I don't remember how I did it, but I'll never forget.
Damn,
getting that
you
to
had
him
to
and being like,
glitch that in
"That's
there
great."
too. That was like super like.
He had an
hacking
excuse
of
like,
the
"Yo, I
game.
have somebody who went to Japan. You could get it out in Japan."
Yeah, dude.
But
It
he
was like something crazy, like
yeah.
hack, like crazy stuff.
He was
You could,
into
like
stuff like that.
hijack this truck and like move a truck in the game, and Mew was like hidden.
And
under
missing
the truck.
nose hiding.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
But yeah, I
stuff.
definitely remember getting Mew back in the day when like nobody else did that.
That's
It was
awesome.
Really cool.
That's good. That's a good memory.
Is that better than the?
That's better. That's better than catching Rattata while taking a dump.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Fair
for
enough.
me, it's just seriously like a trip down nostalgia lane.
Uh-huh.
For me, like my best memory of it. I just like look back on like the first time I ever held a Game Boy Color or a Game Boy in my hands, and it wasn't mine yet at that time, and it was my friend's, and I remember I seriously
was it
still
Alex's?
no it wasn't, but I still remember to this day the moment that I first started playing Pokemon, and it's so weird. Like you know how like you always have like those like little snapshots of your life, like oh man, I just remember this exact moment. I was at a restaurant and it was at night, and like
this is so generic. I can tell the same story, but keep going.
It was at night. I remember it was at night because I remember seeing like I don't remember
there
what
was a
restaurant.
shooting star,
but there was a green glow from the sign of the restaurant coming down.
John Deere green.
And like my friend and his family was there with my family.
That's good. That's going up.
My friend and his family was there, and my friend, he let me play his Game Boy for a minute, and like I remember he handed it to me, and I was standing. I got up, and I like because my family, they were checking out and everything like that, and he let me play it for a second, and then we're walking out of the restaurant and everything. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm playing it like next to a window of the restaurant, and I still remember the window was like right here in front of me. And my eyes were just glued to it, playing it.
Did you put your
and
forehead
I just
out the
remember,
window for the coldness?
I thought it was the most amazing thing in the world that I could just like go into these buildings, any buildings I want, walk through this grass, encounter these monsters and stuff. At that point, I had no idea what I was doing, so I was just smashing A the whole time. And like, good thing it wasn't like Growl that was like the first option. But no, I just remember that. I just remember like being up like really late at night, under my blankets, so you had your little Game Boy light.
Oh, yeah,
the little worm light that was curly up.
That would extend over it and things, and I just remember sitting there just playing that for hours.
That's good.
I remember for the longest time I wanted to catch an Abra, and I could never do it. And then I remember my mom was pushing me in a cart. This was this long ago, and I was just sitting in the cart playing the game, and I don't remember where we were, but I remember finally catching it in that cart.
Yeah.
And I was so
we got to
happy.
go back and find that cart.
Yeah. That exact
What store
cart.
was that?
And we got to include it in the set. Just like put it right here.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to piggyback on that too and say when I got, it was either blue or red. I don't remember which one, but my brother got it. And then we had the Super Game Boy on the Super Nintendo.
Ooh.
Pop that thing in there. I remember I could not figure out how to leave the original bedroom. It took so, we were just like walking around. It was like so weird, and then to leave the house and everything too, because like the carpet was there, but like I was so young, you couldn't comprehend that. You were just like in a square, and everything was like so new, and I just couldn't leave.
Okay, this is another thing too for me is that so the first time I ever played Pokemon, it was like in that restaurant and everything, right? Well, the first time I played my own Pokemon game, it was Pokemon Blue.
It was last week.
I remember Yeah.
We need to go to this restaurant and find the cards.
I don't remember what restaurant. It's driving me nuts. But then I went down to this river, and there was a river actually behind one of my houses that I used to live in as a kid. And like I remember sitting on the bank and like the sun just shining through the trees, and I was sitting there just playing Pokemon. It was like seriously just such a good memory.
You were one with nature at that moment.
Yeah, no. Well, I was in love with Pokemon at that moment, I remember.
True love.
But like all true loves, there had to be a breakup.
Yeah. I know, right?
I guess that's maybe next week's topic.
Next week's topic.
Worst breakup with a Nintendo game.
Yeah,
so,
that's good.
No, it was seriously Pokemon. It definitely affected me, Just got really deep, like all this.
Where did the Pokemon touch you?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you need the doll?
Do you need masking tape? All right, hit us with your good memories.
All right, so my memory with Pokemon, my best probably is also one of my first, but not the first. The first memory I have with Pokemon, I remember I got my cousin. He's a lot older than me. I think he's like 31 now or something, and he had a Game Boy Pocket, and so it was the black one, but those were still in black and white, you know.
Oh yeah.
And he had that, and he had some other games with it, and he had Pokemon Red version. And so for whatever reason, he's like who I got all my video games, like my original video games for. Like I got an original NES from him that had the Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt cart, and it had the TMNT arcade game cart, and that's where my love of TMNT started. Actually, was from playing that game. Yep. So I think I've told that story here before, and I may have told this other story here before, but whatever.
Tell it again.
Right, just now you'll really know. And so anyway.
Oh wait, no, you didn't, because when we got to the handheld part, you're like, that'll be a different day, so this will be fresh material.
Oh,
I remember
awesome.
now, so go
cool.
for it.
So he gives me his Game Boy Pocket, has red version. I think it only had red version is all I had, or that's all I cared about. If there were other games, I don't remember. But I remember getting that, and like it had red version, and I started a new game, and I played it, and I went through. I didn't start a new game. I just kept going with his file, and he had all these awesome Pokemon, and I thought that was so cool. And I just like eventually like figured out all this stuff, and it was just like it was just red version, so it was super basic, you know. But I was so young at the time that I didn't know, like you guys both said in parts of it, where it's like you had no idea like what you were even doing. You know what I mean? So I'm like walking around.
Bulbasaur was A.
Yeah, like I walked around like Victory Road, I think, like because he'd already beaten it, like all this stuff, and I had like no idea what was going on, like battling all these awesome Pokemon coming out. I'm like, dude, I don't even know what this is. I think the show was on at the time, and I thought that was super cool. My birthday was soon, so I had that for maybe like a month, and then my birthday happens, and that's when I get my first pack of Pokemon cards. And I remember that when I opened it, the first card that I had that was like on top, which I think I dropped them and like put them back together, which is why this was on top, was a holographic Venusaur card.
Ooh.
And that's what I like attribute as my very first Pokemon card that I got, because it was right on the top of the pack, was a holographic Venusaur. And then I ended up trading it away like a few years later because I didn't know anything about it, and I'm trading it away for like a Mewtwo or something like that. So it was like still a good trade, but it was like,
do you end up going back and buying?
No.
You still don't have one?
I have one now. Yeah,
Okay.
like later. For
That's
the
so sad,
collection.
like,
I know, but that was like my favorite card. That was my number one card.
Like,
and
you
then,
ever
like, I
wonder,
didn't
like
even
in
think
your
about
mind,
it.
like where is that Pokemon card now? You know?
Yeah, dude, it's got to be in a dumpster because I know the kid who I traded it to probably does not care at all about Pokemon anymore. And I think he had doubles of this Mewtwo card, which is why he gave it. And he was like so a shyster.
That's just so sad.
And
to
so,
think that,
yeah, I know. And so, yeah, so like that was cool, and like so I played that, and then I remember, so that's what ingrained Pokemon in me. So like I had that, and it was Pokemon, and it was great.
You had the Pokerus sense in there.
I did.
Yeah.
So then, for my next birthday, so then flash forward a year, I kind of forget about the Pokemon the game, but I'm still like into the show, into the cards and stuff like that. I get an N64 for that Christmas, I think, and I get Pokemon Snap with it.
Stadium.
And so like that goes, and I didn't get Stadium, but I go with that. Oh, also speaking of Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon trading cards, I remember when I would battle with people, and this was another stupid thing. I battled them, but you remember when you like would defeat a Pokemon in Pokemon Stadium, and it would do like that weird like faint animation, like pass out. Yeah, and like I remember for some weird reason, Vileplumes stuck with me. And what it does is when you beat it in Pokemon Stadium, it like jumps up and like deflates. And,
I think I know what you're talking
about.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And then all it is like, you know how it's got like the big red petals around its head, and it just kind of like lays on the ground, and that's all it is. It's just the petals. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like, that's awesome. So remember, I was playing with a different cousin. He's more, my age. And I was playing with him at my grandma's house when we were playing Pokemon cards, and I had a Vileplume card. He beats it. And I'm like, dude, watch this. So I pick up the card, I throw it in the air, and then it like kind of like floats down or whatever. I catch it like this, and then I fold it up into fourths and like slam it on the ground, and then I step on it and like to smash it to get it as flat as can be. And I'm just like looking back and like having that memory. I'm like, God, I was a stupid kid.
Was it holographic?
It wasn't. I don't remember if Vileplume was holographic. I know it was rare though. I know it had the star,
it was, yeah.
And I was like, crap. I'm like, he beat me so that much. I'm like, dude, this is so cool. This is what they do in the video game. So I just fold up the card. But anyway,
we all did stupid shit.
Yeah, and it was
crap
just,
like
it was,
that,
but it's fun, It's whatever. You're a dumb kid. So then my real favorite Pokemon memory is when later. So then that Christmas after I got Red version was the N64. Flash forward a whole nother year to my birthday again. I get a Game Boy Color, the see-through purple, that I still actually have to this day. It's the only system, that and my PS4 are the only systems.
PS4, that doesn't count.
I know that I have that I've never traded in, and like eventually rebought. Yeah, so like the NES, my mom ended up throwing away. The GameCube, I traded in for something else, and then I bought another one back. Same with the Wii. Same with the Wii. No, Wii U actually. I've had my Wii U since I bought my original Wii U. Had that one. Never sold that. So Wii U, PS4, and Game Boy Color. But like Game Boy Advance, like I had the white Game Boy Advance that was like octagular or whatever.
Yeah.
Sold that. Sold the Game Boy SP, like original DS. Everything, traded everything into either GameStop or the Exchange.
Why? I think I did the same
never
thing,
wanted it, and it's just like I never did, and then I
thinking about.
rebuy it again, and I do that with everything though.
I have like my OG GameCube. I still have my OG Game Boy.
Yeah, I don't have
Game Boy Color. I saw my OG Game Boy is right over there in that case.
Yeah, like that's the only thing. It was the Game Boy Color that was atomic purple, and you could see through it. And I eventually lost the back for it, and for years I never had the back until I'm like, oh yeah. eBay's a thing. And I went on eBay, looked for the back, and you can buy them for like $1.50 or something.
Yeah.
It was an atomic purple see-through back,
God,
clipped it right on the back.
$1.50.
and
Imagine
there
that
it is.
nowadays.
I'm like, that's awesome. So I'm like, cool. So I got it. So now it's a complete package again, whatever.
Yeah.
But got that for my birthday. My mom, bless her soul, didn't know that I had to have a game to play with it.
Oh.
It didn't come with a game. So I was like, Mom, this is great. Thanks for buying this for me. But I don't have any games to play with it. And she's like, okay, well, we'll go tomorrow. Because
Whoever sold her that Game Boy completely
I know, it was
failed.
a jerk. I know.
Like,
And it was at that at Target. And
I still remember the games I first got. It was like Kirby.
Army Man.
What?
Army Man.
that was your first Game Boy
Army
game?
Man.
No, I had Army Man though.
Oh.
I had Kirby. I had Tetris.
Tetris was like the
Yeah,
best-selling
Tetris was
game
like
on the
OG.
thing.
Yeah.
I had Castlevania, whatever the original game
I had
was.
Castlevania.
Really? I never
which one
did.
it
I
was,
never heard the
Super
ones.
Mario Land.
Yeah.
I eventually got that later, and that was awesome. But so we ended up. She's like, okay, we'll go tomorrow because this was late at night.
Little
Everything was
Mermaid.
closed. She's like, we'll go tomorrow and we'll pick something out for you. I'm like, okay, cool. So we're going and we're looking, and I see that there was Pokemon Gold and Silver, and I'm like, I want one of those. And she's like, no. I was like, are you kidding me? Like,
Because it's Pokemon.
no, just because she didn't know. She didn't know what it was, and she's like, okay, whatever. Like, no, don't want that. I think it was
Oh, okay.
expensive because it was like right when they had just come out. So I think it was expensive. And she's like, no, that's too much. Blah, blah. So I think we get like a $20 Tomb Raider game. And so I get Tomb Raider. And this, I swear to God, was the hardest game
Raider.
I've ever played in my entire life.
I
think
I know which one.
And it was
you're
the one
talking about.
4
Was it
game of color.
side-scroller?
Yeah.
I think
And I
I know.
eventually found it again at the exchange when I started working at the exchange, and I bought it. And I'm like, this was my original game, but like, this is my first Game Boy game. I need to buy this and just like replay it.
Yeah.
Went through, replayed it. It's the easiest fucking thing. Like, oh my God. But as a kid, I could not beat this. So then,
good.
flash forward a few months.
Isn't that funny? Like how that
I
happens.
know, like how hard it was
Yeah.
as a kid, and then
That's
now
like
it's
all-
super
Like
easy.
it's like
But
Donkey,
everything.
it's like
every
Donkey Kong
game.
Country. Like I could not beat that game, and now it's like
Yeah, now it's like
I
nothing.
breeze
Yeah.
through it. Yeah.
And so,
It's like the lockers though when you go back to school and they were like so big and then you go in there like.
oh yeah,
this
now
big.
they're nothing. Or
Yeah.
like when you were like in pre-K or something, you're looking at the 8th graders, and the 8th graders look like they can like touch the sky,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you're in 8th grade and you're like, I don't feel that tall.
Yeah.
You know. But so anyway, yeah. Flash forward a few months. I'm like, you know what? I really want Pokemon. I'm gonna work. And I'm gonna get my own money for it.
Yeah.
So my dad's a mechanic, owns his own business. He's the only one who works there. I'm like, Dad, I'm gonna come to work with you. You pay me, and then like I'm gonna come and clean tools, put tools away, stuff like that. So I do that for like months, right?
Right.
Eventually get up enough money. I'm like, Dad, take me to Target.
What did he give
right
you, like
now."
$1 an hour?
No, it
Month?
was something. He gave me every
And you worked
time.
5 hours
but
a week?
the thing
A
is, though,
quarter?
is that I went like on Saturdays because obviously I was in school because I'm
Yeah.
a grade school kid, and so I went only on like Saturday mornings. I would go, and then he'd like always buy me like McDonald's for lunch, or like we'd get pizza or something.
like,
for
"That's
lunch.
coming out of
and
the
it was super
paycheck."
fun, and it wasn't, but
Those
it
are
was just fun.
memories,
So it was like good. It was like a good dad experience, and so he'd pay me, and it was like $20 every Saturday. So it was like $20 every week, and totally didn't know how much Pokemon was, so I just kept all this money. I think I had like $100, and I was like ready to go spend $100 on Pokemon.
Yeah.
And so I go to Target, and I'm like, hey, I want Pokemon, and the guy goes, which one? And then I was like, oh no, I'm faced with this decision, like
Yeah.
silver or gold. Which do I pick? Naturally, I picked
Gold.
gold. Come to find out, like everybody else in the
Ho,
world
ho.
picked silver.
Oh.
And everybody talks about how
Oh.
silver's like
I
the
would've
best
picked-
one.
I
I'm like,
personally would've
you're all
picked silver.
stupid. I went with
Would you?
gold. You
Gold.
went with gold. That's awesome.
I
And then
would've
my
picked
cousin, who I didn't know until later, actually went and got a Pokemon game too. Got silver, so it all worked out. We both had the different versions.
Oh,
It was
better
great.
than Lugia.
So, and I totally
Heracross.
agree. So I get Pokemon Gold. First game I ever bought with my own money. Worked for it. Worked my butt off for it. Bought
Cleaning
it.
tools.
Cleaning tools. Hey, as a grade
Eating
school
McDonald's.
kid, dude, it was hard work. But I like went and
Don't you-
that's when I learned this is what money does. Money gets you the things you want. You can't rely on mom and dad to get you the stuff that you want. Because one, they have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
And two, it's like it feels so much better for me to spend my own money on it.
Oh, yeah.
And I can buy it myself. You know what I mean? Like I have my own disposable income. So
Although I don't like spending money nowadays.
I know
'cause
now
it's
now
just-
kind of
now
sucks.
it's
But as
just
a
like-
kid, growing up as a kid,
yeah.
like it felt good to be like,
Gotta
yes,
pay
sir,
rent.
here's this money for my game, and then I get it, take it home. I remember I had the box. I was so excited to take it out, put it in. Then came the worst memory I ever have tied to a video game, where I put the game in, flick it on, loads up. I see the awesome colors. Like this is my first time I've played Pokemon in color. It was beautiful. Click A, new game and options are your only options. I click new game. First thing that pops up, Professor Elm pops up. Starts talking to you. You a boy or girl? I'm a boy, you idiot. Like,
Yeah,
of
come
course.
on.
Why is this even an
Obviously.
option? So I pick boy. What's your name? So I type in Joe. All right. and I click OK.
And your adventure's about to begin.
And then he says, all right, Joe, your adventure's about to begin. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my God. My character's name is Joe. I'm like, that's such a stupid name. I didn't want to name my character after myself.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. I want to give him a cool name.
Yeah.
So, and I had no idea that you could turn it off and turn it back on and go do new game again. So for my entire first playthrough of Pokemon, I was Joe. I threw Pokemon, and I'm like, oh my
That's
God,
sweet,
this is
dude.
awful. I hated it. Like I hated being myself in the game. And even to this day, I hate it.
I could never name my guy Christian just because it's such a long name. Like it's like 8.
What about Chris?
It's 8 characters long.
What about Chrissy?
What about
I
Christ?
didn't like the name Chris. Yeah, no. I think I named myself CJ for some reason.
It's a badass name.
Yeah, CJ, dude.
So yeah,
because my middle name starts with a J, so
Julius?
Okay.
yeah, Julius actually.
Is that really your middle name?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's not.
I'm gonna throw this memory out there too, though.
Yeah.
Is like,
God,
obviously-
memory lane episode.
no, obviously
dang.
you play Game Boys most like when you're not home on the go, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
And I'll remember like getting to where's Ghastly at Haunter, like the what's that place called? In like the original Pokemon's where the ghosts are.
Oh,
Lavender Town. You're going through like the one place with all the dead Pokemon.
Yeah,
the Cubone and all that.
yeah.
And I'm getting like to the end, and I'm like, oh man, I'm getting far. And you know, it's like, all right, we gotta go in the store now. And you're like, I can't save right now. Like,
oh my
God,
yes, I have that all the time. And like,
Yeah.
I remember my mom, like, I'd be playing it at home, and I'd be playing upstairs in my bedroom, and you were just playing. And I'd be, Joe, come down for dinner. Yeah, in a minute. No, right now. Get down, Mom.
And you couldn't
I'm
charge it. It was just
saving.
batteries.
And like, I remember yelling down the stairs multiple times. Mom, I can't. I'm saving.
never got it.
Like,
Yeah.
if they just never understood,
But it's
man.
better now because you can plug it into a charger now compared to if your batteries die, you only pop
Exactly.
those
Oh
things
my
out, put them
God. But
back
then
in.
your battery, you could tell especially in the game, was the battery would get like dimmer and dimmer as your battery started to die. So as soon as it would get like super dim, like, oh crap, I gotta save. I gotta save. Hopefully it doesn't die in the middle of save. But yeah, so that was
And then
my
it dies in the middle,
best
save is
and
corrupted,
worst,
it's
and then
done.
it's over, right? And you gotta buy a new game. So that is my best and worst memory of
I love
Pokemon
it.
within the span of like 10 minutes of each other.